Our union implemented accountability measures as far as holding our members accountable, holding our elected officials accountable, and holding our staff accountable. And one of the things that I won't tolerate as I've risen through the ranks is, as general president, any kind of inequitable treatment. And they were kind. You know, I got some really passionate remarks at our union hall about sharing horror stories coming up through our trade on how women are being treated. But someone from my local was kind enough to endorse the fact that I've treated them as equals from my time as an apprentice instructor, when I was a business representative in my local. And I never treated the women members any different than the men. I treated them as equals. And so now that I am the general president, I can take my personal growth as far as I am a father of daughters, I have a granddaughter. I will not see, all I see is an iron worker. I do not see a woman or a male iron worker. So what I encourage everyone to do is call headquarters, and we will keep anonymity as far as the complaint to the extent you can. But then I'll chew someone's ass if they're doing something wrong and if a leader's not helping a rank and file member through an issue. But lately, now before I was general president, I was general secretary, and that's more of the operations side, and that's where we got the calls. And I never had one of our staff people, maybe it's out of respect from the international, but they have always addressed the needs. And I'm sure you know this, but we got jerks in our business. Men, women, people of color, people are jerks. And it's my job to make sure that the equitable treatment is there. Now it's my general secretary filling in my role, but my chief of staff, I brought him here because he's oftentimes the person that takes care of all the, the problems as they come to headquarters. So I want to be known as the president who helped our Ironworkers Union organize like it hasn't organized. And I can't see not having women as a greater extent in that growth. And so the growth in the leadership, the growth in the instructors, and the growth in our membership. But there can't be one example of intolerance. But from time to time, we get jerks in our business, and I'll deal with those problems one at a time and everywhere we have to.
Thank you. I want to bring it back to contractors, right? Many folks who aren't familiar with the trades think that it's the union that hires folks to go to work. It's the union that fires folks, right? So contractors are important. Project labor agreements, community benefit agreements have been important ways that the building trades has worked to right some wrongs with investors about local hire, about putting veterans to work, women, people of color in communities. And so we need to, how many contractors do we have in this room that's not a tradeswomen supported, only operation? So how do we do this? How do we engage our contractor community? Because it has to be done if we are going to address these issues effectively.
Can I take that?
Yeah.
The Ironworkers started, it's called Impact, and it's our labor management group. And through Impact, we sit with regional representatives from both labor and management, and we agree on about 85% of everything. We hash out through collective bargaining, splitting the profits and the wages, but the right things to do and the community benefits agreements, our employers are in lockstep. When I broached the subject about hiring Vicki O'Leary to come on and be a safety department expert and then handle diversity and recruitment for me, what I needed to do is I needed to reason out whether I was going to put her on an international staff, and the contractors go, you're not keeping that separate for just the union. So she's an iron worker. She works on staff as a leaseback employee, but she's working on behalf of the employers too to gain more inclusion. And I appointed a committee nationally to do the best practices, to find out where we're having not only the best recruitment, but the best retention, where we getting the most rod busters, the most welders, and how do we keep people into the union. And by doing that, and then Vicky's gonna report back to me directly. So, you know, she's got a dual job. She works, she serves the employers and labor. So it's interesting, but she's very helpful to me. And we're just growing this job. I told her we got to figure out how to do this. I know where we need to go. I just don't know how to get there yet. But I know the contractors, we got them arm in arm, and they're with us in that plight. So they were really excited about adding that piece.
Excellent. So we got cued that we have 5 minutes left. So we need to do short and sweet. But I want to talk to you about these contractors. The Elevator Constructors is one of the smaller unions.
Correct.
But your union market share is...
You're not supposed to talk about that with other trades.
Brother, let's talk about it. But how? Tell me, how?
Well, we're a lot different than other trades because we're a referral hall. You just can't hire somebody out of the hall to go out and work at the CTA or something like that. You have to go through a signatory company.
How many contractors do you all have?
Well, I really couldn't tell you. There's, throughout the United States and Canada, there's quite a lot. But we have small companies, we have large companies, we have 4 of the major companies, Otis, Schindler, Kone, and Thyssen, that you've all heard of. There's Mitsubishi and Fujitec, and then you have the smaller companies out there. But our market share, we're a lot different than other trades. We encompass a lot of the trades in one. It's said that we encompass 9 trades in one. So it's a lot harder than, I don't want to say it's harder than iron workers or bricklayers or anything like that. I don't want to get in trouble with my general president. But
Jim's waiting.
You really put me on the spot here, But we have a very tough educational system.
That's right.
A 5-year apprenticeship program. It really is. They're college accredited courses. So if you're saying why do we have the market share, I think because we're so much off on our own. We encompass so much, and elevators have a lot to do with safety. We're transporting more people in a day than all transportation put together. So it's a
Good job. So one quick follow-up question. The tradeswomen community cheered and jumped for joy not too long ago when an elevator constructor woman was elected into a leadership position.
She's right over there. Minnesota. First business rep.
So
Times
any
are
words,
changing.
1 minute, any words of advice to folks on what to do to continue to aspire for leadership in our unions?
Well, I see it more and more. I see Amy out of Tampa. I see more women getting involved, being officers on the executive board, part-time officers. I'm hoping to see more full-time officers there. I've heard some great speakers today. You impressed me, and the other ladies here. I see great things. You made me more aware. Not that I wasn't always try to do my best with women and everything, but I see things. I come out of Chicago, south side of Chicago. Can I hear something out of this?
All right, brother.
All right.
Wind it up. I'm getting a little signs.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that I see some great things coming out of women in labor. You made me more aware of things happening, and we're going to see some great things.
Thank you, brother, for coming. Last words of wisdom, Brother Boland.
Well, Patti, we share contractors in common, the laborers and the bricklayers. And we did, you and I, and some folks try talking to the leadership of that group. I think we have to do more of that. I really do. I think we have to take all the myths out of there and let them know that the women in this room and others like them are as good as anybody they're going to employ. And when they get past that testiness and we see more of this, I think there will be big strides, but it's going to take a little bit more work, and it's going to take the leadership of the unions to work on the contractors. I think that's where the snag is at. Yes.
Yes, next step. Last parting words, brother. Short.
It's a great conference. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I became general president last July, so this is my first one participating. It won't be my last.